Hare Krishna. So we are continuing with the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So last time we had studied about what happens after death. And before we begin, we also invite all the devotees who have joined us online. Okay, so last time we were discussing about what happens after death. So Bhagavad Gita 8.5, 8.6, they talk about that. Chapter 8 is called Attaining the Supreme, right? Yes? No?
I don't remember the title.
You're Attaining the Supreme. Okay. So 8.5, we'll just go through 8.5. Today's verse is 8.7. Antakale cha mameva
Antakaale च मामेव
smaran muktva kalevaram
स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्
yaprayati samadbhavam
यप्रयाति समद्भावम्
yati nastyatra samshayah.
याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः
Antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. Krishna is saying at the time of death, whatever one remembers, that nature he attains without fail. If you remember me, Arjuna, then you will attain at the time of death. It is very important because it is not easy to choose your thoughts at the time of death. When you are undergoing something very impactful to your consciousness, or you can say something very disturbing, very agitating, someone is blowing up your character, is sending you insults. So at that point in time, to think about Krishna or to choose to think about Krishna is very difficult. To choose to think about Krishna is very, very difficult. And therefore, Antakale cha mam eva means at the time of death, the goal of life is to prepare oneself in such a way. See, disturbing situations, very difficult to think about Krishna. How can you think about Krishna at the time of death? Small disturbance is very difficult. So Krishna is saying, whole life you have to lead in such a way that at the time of death, when the pain is most excruciating, at that point in time when you are supposed to let go of everything that you worked so hard for in life, you are supposed to let go of everything that you identified with, that you claimed as your own, as yourself. That at the point of time, the point of death, you are supposed to let go. If you don't let go, anyway it will be taken away. How can you think about Krishna? Is it possible? It is very difficult, but not impossible. So therefore, what determines our thinking of Krishna at the time of death is how you lead your life today. Not even today, now. How do you lead your life now determines how much you will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. We are so distracted, we are so disturbed. Payanal payusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadutaha. Srimad Bhagavatam explains that the Kali Yuga Vasis, they disturbed by so many things. Practically everything we do, there is some disturbance. Our career has so much disturbance. Our relationships have so much disturbance. Our family life has so much disturbance. Whatever we do, any phase of life, there is disturbance. Nothing is peaceful, especially in Kali Yuga. So with all these disturbances going on, how is it possible that at the time of death you can think of Krishna? It is very, very difficult. So therefore, the real test is how much can you think of Krishna today? We cannot even think of Krishna so much today, so much now. But at the same time, what Krishna does, In spiritual life, Krishna reciprocates with your endeavor. If you are trying your best, at this moment, our best might be maybe 2 rounds Hare Krishna chanting. We cannot do much because our spiritual progress isn't much. Our associating with Vaishnavas isn't much. So it's only 2 rounds we are able to chant a day. But that is your best. And therefore, Krishna reciprocates with that best by empowering you with His mercy. What is that empowerment? He will give us a desire to attain Him. Mam ichchaptam dhananjaya, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Cultivate your desire to attain me. If you're not present on the pure devotional platform, if your mind is not automatically going towards Krishna, then okay, practice sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means daily wake up early, daily chant Hare Krishna, associate with devotees, engage in seva, daily study Prabhupada's books. Regularly, when you do that, you're gradually developing a desire to attain Krishna. And who is giving that desire? Krishna's mercy. Because he says that this devotee is trying his best. And therefore, Krishna gives that desire. But when we say that we are doing bare minimum in Krishna consciousness, just so that I am not a materialist, but also I can do more, but how much Krishna has to be this small, keep him that small in life. Then what happens? Krishna also, he doesn't reciprocate. His reciprocation also becomes very small. He doesn't do much because you have no desire. You're not trying your best to attain him. Krishna is like a jealous lover. Jealous lover means if you're loving me, you love me alone, no one else. Krishna is like that. So he wants that we try our best to attain him. If you put your best, Krishna puts his best. And what is Krishna's best? That's our hope. When we don't put our best, we don't want so much progress in Krishna consciousness, he reciprocates by making sure we don't progress so much. So therefore, when we put our best now, tomorrow our best is more than today's best. Day after tomorrow our best is more than today's best. Gradually our best also increases. More and more it expands and expands, and one day you will find to chant Hare Krishna, if you miss one round, you will feel what is happening. Seems so unusual. You miss chanting Hare Krishna, or you've traveled far away for a couple of days away from the association of devotees. You feel very out of the usual. Something is missing. Like before, it was usually even in my life to sleep at 3 a.m., get up at 9, 10. Now we had participated in this vegan day festival. So we had to, like last 2 days, we had to sleep like 12:30, 1 o'clock, get up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It is like I am feeling already very drained out. It is so unusual. Why? Because last 10 years I followed different lifestyle. Now the older lifestyle before that is very unusual. We were just discussing how do the materialists do it? Sleeping 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and getting up 10, 12. Horrible it is. It's not a good culture. Therefore, they have so many bodily problems. So now it has become very unusual for me. So it is now my body is not adjusting. So now I have to sleep early, get up early. That is very nice. So therefore, whatever we practice today, you become that tomorrow. So if you practice chanting Hare Krishna today, tomorrow chanting becomes even easier. At least one step easier, isn't it? So practice, practice, practice. You do your best, and then Krishna says at the time of death, Krishna gives his mercy to remember him. But whole life we waste. We did not show any interest in preparation. Then why should Krishna reciprocate at the time of death? We have not been sincere, no problem. Again, take another birth. Like that. So all these things we were discussing last time. And this is important just to keep the context, because today what we'll discuss is in line with this context. Okay, translation.
And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once, attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
Yeah. Next one. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam
यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं
Tyajatyante kalevaram
त्यजन्ते कलेवरं
Tam tam evaiti kaunteya
तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय
Sada tad bhava bhavitaha.
सदा तद्भावभावितः
Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Queen Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
Yes, so this is what we were discussing. So don't wait for old age to come. Why? Because old age is defined as, what's the definition of old age? How many of you consider yourself to be old? Huh? Yes, proximity to death is old age. We don't know how old we are. We think I'm 30-year-old. I still have at least 45 more years, at least 50 more years. It's a hope. That is not old age. See, old age is not white hair. Because we already have white hair. Old age is not weakening of limbs. Old age is not having grandchildren. What is old age? Proximity to death. So someone devotee was telling me, Prabhu, of the four problems of life, we can skip one of them. That is old age. If you die early, no, you cannot skip. Because proximity to death is old age. Isn't it? You cannot skip old age. So now that we don't know when we will die, so therefore the practice should start as soon as possible. If we haven't started it today, now we have to start. We have to take it seriously. So now in 8.7, Krishna is going to speak. See, tasma means therefore. So he spoke 8.5, 8.6, saying that whatever you think at the time of death, that will attain. Therefore, Arjuna, think about me. This is what he said. Accordingly, our future, next birth is decided based on your current, what you think at the time of death. Now he says, therefore, see, someone can say, that is all right. We have to practice Krishna consciousness throughout our life so that we can remember Krishna at the time of death. But the problem is, I have so many engagements in my life to engage in. I am a student, I have my studies, I am a family man, I have a family, I have my careers, I have my social life. I have so many things to do. Where can I get time to remember Krishna? How can I remember Krishna all the time? It is not possible. Therefore, Krishna gives solution. Even ritualistically getting up and chanting some round without attentive hearing is not counted. Investing heart in your chanting is counted. Performing activities at the level of Krishna consciousness is counted. So therefore, Krishna is now telling Arjuna, very important shloka to memorize. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु
mamanusmara yudhya cha
मामनुस्मरयुध्य च
mayyarpita mano buddhe
मय्यर्पिता मनोबुद्धे
mamai vaishyasa samshayaha.
मामेवैष्य संशयः
Tasma, therefore, Arjuna, sarveshu kaleshu, at all times, what you should do? While you are engaged in material activities, think about me. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Whatever in your life you have to do, while thinking about me, you act. Krishna doesn't say, don't do anything. He doesn't say, Arjuna, now I spoke the Gita to you. Now you sleep quietly on the chariot, I'll fight for you. You keep chanting. No. He says, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Thinking of me, fight the war. So therefore, devotees in Krishna consciousness, they are men of action or women of action. But they don't simply sit. They don't simply retire. Yes, definitely they retire from material consciousness, but they don't retire from action. Because in 3rd chapter of the Gita, Krishna told Arjuna, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Not even for a moment the soul can remain quiet. It is the nature of the soul. One is forced to act in this world. Now people are trying to do the vipassana. You know what is Vipassana? 10 days without talking, and only without talking. I heard you are put into a room with nothing around you and you just observe the mind.
Half of it is like that.
Half of it is like that. Okay.
Dark room.
Unnatural. This is unnatural. Because for them, what is nirvana? Nirvana is non-existence. From the point of existence, go to non-existence. This is not approved by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, "Na mriyate, na jayate, na mriyate vakadachin, nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha, ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano, na hanyate hanyamane sharire." When the body is killed, the soul is never killed. Continues to go on. It has no birth, no death. It has never ceased to exist. It will never cease to exist in the future. It will always continue to live on. It's called as nityam, eternal. It is called as purana. That means always existing in the past, the oldest, the soul. And the Buddhists are saying vipassana, do nothing. Krishna is saying it is unnatural for the soul. Soul is very active. To do nothing is unnatural. Even the people who go to the platform of Brahma Jyoti, impersonal liberation, to just get peace from the material world, from material activities, they also, it is said, yenyecha ravindaksha vimuktamaninas tvayasta bhavat avishuddha buddhaya. What is then? Avishuddha buddhaya. Yenye ravindaksha vimuktamaninas tvayasta bhavat avishuddha buddhaya. That the next two lines is the most famous one. I remember the not so famous part of the sloka. Here you can just take Yenyecha Ravindaksha. Arvinda Aksha Vimukta Buddhya. Aruyya Krichena Param Padam Tata Patanti Adha Anadita Yushmadangreha. Aruyya Krichena Param Padam Tataha means because even though these people have attained impersonal liberation in the Brahma Jyoti, which is beyond the material realm, because they have not developed any attraction to serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord who has lotus petal like eyes, because they have no upward attraction, they experience boredom after some time. Then they think, what is there in the Brahma Jyoti? Only light. Let me go back down to the material world. Arya Krichena Param Padam Tata Patanti Adaha. They fall down. Patan means to fall. Patanti where? Down. Adaha. Patanti Adaha Anadita Yushmadangreha. Because they did not want to serve Krishna, they come down again. Ever heard of falling down from the point of liberation? See, it is possible. Therefore, real liberation means attachment to lotus feet of Krishna. That's real liberation. There Krishna says, you go to my spiritual world, you'll never come back. But impersonal liberation, no guarantee. Bhagavatam, Brahma says they'll fall down. High risk. So therefore, the Nirvana people, the Buddhists are saying that don't exist. They say do vipassana, just do nothing. Unnatural. Therefore, what Krishna says, Arjuna, don't do nothing. You fight for me. Isn't it? Arjuna wanted to do nothing. Krishna said, no, you act. Karma is important, but karma yoga. In line with Krishna's desire, that karma you should do. Ma manusmara yudhyacha. Therefore, Arjuna, thinking of me, you fight. That means that fighting is not just fighting, not for the sake of fighting. How is that fighting done? While thinking of Krishna. You have seen sometimes people in their office, they have photo of their family. Thinking of the family, they work. Isn't it? That means samsara again. I mean, I am not against it. The point is, Krishna says thinking of me, not anyone else. Why do they, any idea why do people keep their family photo ahead while working? Like, they have big desktop, 3 screens, whatever, but there's one family photo of a wife and children. Why do they keep? Their motivation. Why am I working hard like a donkey? Oh, right, I have to maintain them. I have to put my kids into school. I have to purchase costly jewelry for my wife. I have to feed them. I have to take care of them very nicely. Motivation. For them, I'm working hard. Krishna says, Mahaman Smaridyacha. You work hard in the material world, but understand that work should be connected to attaining me. Therefore, thinking of me, you work. Don't blindly work. Otherwise, it becomes karma, not yoga. Karma bandhana. Karma bandhana means you get entangled by your work. Karma yoga means you get disentangled by your work. But both are karma. The devotee's action and the materialistic people's action looks the same, but they are not the same. You know that? Materialist like Duryodhana is also fighting in the same war on the same battlefield. Arjuna is also fighting in the same war on the same battlefield. Arjuna is making his way back home, back to Godhead. Duryodhana is making his way more deeper into this material world. Two different things. Though externally action is the same. You know why? Consciousness. That is the point. Consciousness. So when Krishna is saying Ma Manasmara Yudhacha, not that Arjuna has to shoot, he's thinking of Krishna. Wow, Krishna. He's shooting. No. In Krishna consciousness, you should fight. That means you should know, why am I fighting? To please Krishna. Why am I studying? To please Krishna. Why am I working hard? To please Krishna. I don't think my work will please Krishna. Change your work. Not do something needful. To make sure your work is pleasing Krishna. Therefore, we advise our devotees. There was one devotee who later on became a brahmachari in Pune. When he was working in a company, he was a mechanical engineer. He was given a work in a automated like a car company. He was asked to design a holder to keep cigarettes. That means he's a devotee planning to join ashram full time as a brahmachari, and he is asked to design a holder to hold cigarettes in a car. Immediately he quit the company because he was Ma Manusmara, he was Krishna conscious. How can he do work that is not pleasing to Krishna? Because it's Krishna conscious, it's not possible. If you're not Krishna conscious, what will you think? You will say, sure, but will I get a spike in my bonus? They'll say, yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. Starting tomorrow, I'll work on it. Is he Krishna conscious? He's money conscious. Money conscious, you have material calculations. When you're Krishna conscious, you have spiritual calculations. By doing this, am I getting more entangled or less entangled? More entangled, I don't want to do it. Keeping secret, huh? Cigarette. Prabhu is so innocent, he has not heard of cigarette. Cigarettes. Yeah, the smoking one.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. So therefore, more we are Krishna conscious, our calculations in life change. That means we prioritize Krishna in Krishna while being Krishna conscious. We prioritize desire of Krishna, the will of Krishna, what pleases Krishna, his liking, all these things comes into picture. Important factors. When we are materially conscious, other things come into picture. What? How much money will I make? Will I get more promotion than my colleagues? Can I get a better position than them? Competition, like competitive mentality and struggle for existence. These factors come in. Different factors. So therefore, more we are Krishna conscious, it might seem, why is the devotee, like Radheshyam Prabhu was giving this example, very nice example. There was a devotee who was running a restaurant. And in the restaurant, he was doing his best, but he would make maybe like 5 lakh rupees per month or something, like a bakery in India. And the people came to him and told, Arey, you add something, put some extra variety, do something so that you can do more money. He was honest, like anything old, he would just throw. He would not sell it again. But there was another famous bakery right in front of his bakery on the opposite side of the street. And that bakery would make 20 lakh income revenue. You know why? I mean, people loved his eating and his cooking, his baking. But what he would do, he would never waste anything. In terms of, even if they're old and caught some fungus, he would just brush away the fungus and sell them. Like something which cannot be sold, then he would crush them and make another preparation out of it. When people cannot make, they cannot understand if it's spoiled or not. Somehow he would cover it up and sell more and make more money. So people told the devotee, you also do something like that, pick up your business. He said, no, I cannot cheat the people. So he would make 5, he would make 20. So everyone thought this foolish devotee, very innocent, he doesn't know how to take advantage in life. So this went on for some time. One day, some people, when they started eating the 20 lakh revenue bakery, they started getting food poisoning. Immediately, they gave a complaint, research was done, investigation was done, and they found out that he's selling old products. Immediately, he was out of business. And all the customers who were going to 20 lakh revenue bakery, they came to devotee. He is doing his best. From 5 lakh, it became more, maybe 10 lakh. Why? He was Krishna conscious. So he didn't sacrifice principles. Today, what is the problem? People think, how can I do better than others? Because in that competition, they don't mind cheating because they want to be number one. In that mindset of being the number one, being the best, they don't mind sacrificing dharmic principles. They don't mind a little cheating here and there. But karma comes back. That fellow went out of business. But a devotee knows, even if I cheat people, will Krishna be happy? He goes on. He doesn't care what the outside people think. Outside people are thinking this fellow is not a good businessman. But he doesn't care. I am doing my best according to Krishna. What will please Krishna? Sufficient. Why? Krishna will take care. If there is a more need in life, Krishna will take care. A devotee knows that. So he didn't succumb to cheating. But naturally, who succumbed to cheating went out of business. All the customers came to this guy. So Krishna took care. Like that. So therefore, when we are Krishna conscious, our calculation is different. When we are material conscious, we'll think, yena krena prakar in life. By hook or crook, we need to make money. When we are Krishna conscious, we think, by hook or crook, we want to please Krishna. I don't want to do anything that will displease Krishna. For that, Mam Anusmara, thinking of me, Yuddhacha, then you do work. Therefore, another point, important point is, when we chant our Hare Krishna Mahamantra rounds, early in the morning, first thing in the morning, after freshening up, then the actions we take, the decisions we make, the actions we take during the course of the day will all be Krishna conscious. But you don't chant, you don't invest some time in thinking and worshipping Krishna in the morning, then what happens? You have forgotten to remind yourself, I am Das. Then in the day, you have a lot of problems. What kind of problems? You get into material absorption. Then you worry, hey, my neighbor got new car. I am still having the old Maruti. Isn't it? My neighbor's son is going to the top school. Hare Krishna. My neighbor's son is going to a top school. My son is going to a low class school. Not as good as my neighbors. So you make comparisons, material comparisons. And that's how you become Abhinivesha tasyat, it is said. Abhinivesha means completely engrossed in material platform. Because the consciousness, you have not elevated your consciousness. So therefore, when Krishna says, Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha, before we get into the life activities, invest some time in remembering your position as servant of God. And that is primarily done by chanting Hare Krishna in the morning. Chanting, give your time for chanting Hare Krishna. Give your time to worshipping Krishna. Get darshan of the Supreme Lord. Study the Bhagavad Gita. Then you go through the day. Otherwise, don't get through the day. You will make wrong decisions. And every moment we are making a decision. You know that? Decisions, some are important decisions. So we think decision means important decisions. Every moment we are deciding. what? Whether to choose Krishna or to choose Maya. When you're not Krishna conscious, what will we choose? Maya. We get into gossip about others. Maya, because we chose wrong. Then it hits us after 1 hour of talking about others. I'm trying to be a devotee, I should not do this. So then you come back to your senses and say, okay, next time be careful. Or sometimes we get into, going to social media, Instagram, all rubbish. And then you say, oh, I'm a devotee. 2 hours went away. I could have chanted 16 more rounds. Then you say, okay, I should be careful. This is how Maya takes the devotee for the conditioned soul for a toll. Why? Every moment we are making decision. More we are Krishna conscious, more we are very alert about every decision, every momentary decision we make. That it should be in favor of Krishna consciousness. More we are not Krishna conscious, more we cannot even think about such decisions. We are not alert to what decisions we are making subconsciously. It depends on the degree we are Krishna conscious. More we are Krishna conscious, better control you have over your decisions. So therefore Krishna says, Ma manusmara yuddhacha. And then he says, Mai arpita mano buddhir mam evaishyasi asamshayah. And this is done by investing. My arpita means you offer completely what all? Your mind and intelligence. Of all the things you can offer to Krishna, what is Krishna mentioning? Mind and intelligence. What does it mean by offering mind to Krishna?
Being conscious of Krishna, being Krishna conscious when you're doing things, or making him as the center of, even when you're doing materialistic things, keeping him as the center of your
Correct. Yes. Yes. That means you make sure you do everything while keeping Krishna in the center, such that the mind is always thinking about him, about what is pleasing to him. And what is offering buddhi in Krishna consciousness? Offer your intelligence to me is what? Choosing him. Very good. Therefore, my arpita mano buddhir mam evashi asamshayah. Such a person, without a fail, without a doubt, he'll come to me. So how to lead your life? This is the answer, 8.7. While being in the material world, you devotees say, no, Prabhu, it is okay, you are full time in the temple, but how, while being engaged in the material world, how should I lead my life? Krishna is giving the answer. Therefore, sarveshu kaleshu, tasmat, sarveshu kaleshu, at all times, whatever you do, first be Krishna conscious before you do it. Like one devotee called, one new devotee, upcoming devotee, he had a doubt. So he called this devotee who was chanting in the morning. And he said, Prabhu, I have a doubt. He said, I'm chanting. He said, Prabhu, this is a really important doubt. And he placed his doubt before the other devotee, senior devotee. Senior devotee asked him, do you want a Krishna conscious answer or do you want any other answer? Prabhu said, Prabhu, I want Krishna conscious answer. Therefore, I'm asking you. He said, if you want Krishna conscious answer, allow me to first chant. Let me become Krishna conscious. Then I'll give you advice. If you disturb my chanting and ask me for Krishna conscious advice, I'm not Krishna conscious enough to give you the right answer. Isn't it? So similarly, whatever decisions we take in our life, whatever we plan to do, don't do it before chanting Hare Krishna. Don't do it before studying Prabhupada's books. It should be done in the daytime, in the morning time. Then daytime you have better control over how to navigate your life. Okay, now we'll do translation. Who else in mind? Yes.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
Yes. Remember me and fight comes from here. Ma manusmara yuddhacha. Okay. Purport.
This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's names, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Lok, without a doubt.
Very important. So Prabhupada is saying we can continue to be engaged in material duties, but it has to be performed or executed in Krishna consciousness. If it is not done in Krishna consciousness, it is not really karma yoga, because those activities are not making us be close to Krishna. Rather, such activities might take us away from Krishna. So what Prabhupada says, you can do them, but while doing anything, chant Hare Krishna. You can always chant Hare Krishna and do it. More we keep chanting Hare Krishna, listen to Hare Krishna, more we'll be reminded that we are supposed to be pleasing Krishna with our activities. Yeah. And by more we are on the platform of Krishna consciousness, see, it's not easy to come to the platform of Krishna consciousness. So more you keep hearing lectures, reading Prabhupada's books and chanting Hare Krishna. Gradually, as the material contaminations get purified, lust, anger, greed, pride and illusion. So as the material contamination keeps getting purified, the mind and intelligence will more sit on Krishna. As of now, you can pick up your bead bag and start chanting Hare Krishna. Immediately, mind will run somewhere else, because the mind is not pure. Mind will run to things that will encourage you in sense gratification. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
When you chant Hare Krishna, mind wants to run to things that will encourage you in sense gratification. But when you engage in sense gratification, will the mind run to places or anything that will encourage you in Krishna consciousness? No. Why? Because in pure mind. Therefore, Prabhupada would say to chant Hare Krishna constantly. He gave some tips. If mind is giving us too much trouble, then one thing you can do is you can cajole the mind. Mind, you are such a, I know whatever you are telling me is for my own good, but just wait. I just have 2 rounds remaining. First, we'll complete the 2 rounds and I'll do whatever you say. So you can cajole the mind. Actually, that is delaying the mind. You tell the mind that just 2 more rounds, then later on I will do it. Like Haridas Thakur did. Haridas Thakur, a prostitute, approached him in the night, telling him, let's enjoy. Weather is just fit for our enjoyment. He said, sure. Because, she said, you're a saintly person, and saintly people do not reject the offers offered by common people. Saintly people are always ready to fulfill all the desires of the others. So please fulfill my desire. This was the proposal of the prostitute. Haridas Thakur said, definitely I will fulfill your desire, but I have committed to chant some rounds every day. I'll just complete my rounds and we will just get into it. Chanting. She did not know he had taken a commitment of chanting 192 rounds daily. So whole night passed away, and in the morning, as the sun rose, then he said, oh, I'm very sorry. I was just chanting all night. But definitely you should come tonight and try to fulfill your desire. She came again and he was busy chanting. Chanting. Sun came up and he said, definitely tonight. And again she came. 3 days she heard Haridas Thakur chanting. He was such a pure devotee. Hearing Haridas Thakur chanting, she became a devotee. She surrendered on the 3rd night. She completely surrendered to Haridas Thakur and told Haridas Thakur, my dear saintly person, I'm so shameful that I tried to bring down your character. Because of course I was told by another person, Ramchandra Khan, to defame you. To defame you so that he can, he was envious of Haridas Thakur's growing popularity. So he wanted to defame you. But now I've understood that you're such a saint, so I want to become your disciple. And Haridas Thakur, you know what he said? I understood that the first time I saw you, that you were sent by Ramchandra Khan. But at the same time, I stayed back for 3 nights just to deliver you through my chanting. So next time you are chanting and some prostitute comes to you at middle of night and says, please enjoy me. I've come here to serve you. What you should do? No, get up and run. You are not Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur only can do this. We will say, sure, chanting can always be done later on. We'll keep the bead bag aside. We are not. Huh?
Run and chant.
Run and chant. Yeah, chanting you can run. Raishampur says you should catch your dhoti and run. So, yeah, because our mind is fickle. Our mind naturally goes towards sense gratification. Haridas Thakur didn't have that problem. So, one way to control the mind is you delay. You tell mind later on. One saintly person. See, one is delay. Second one is you give a harsh response to the mind, like a slap to the mind. You have done that ever before? Slap to the mind? Never. Sometimes it's important to slap the mind. Mind will start screaming. You say, "Shut up, you rascal mind." You should tell that in your mind only. Don't tell outside loudly. You should tell the mind, "Shut up, you rascal." Like once a saint in Vrindavan, he was doing madhukari. So someone gave him in a bowl. They gave him malpua and rabdi. So he went to Radha Kund. He kept it and he was chanting. The mind was constantly saying, "Eat the malpua, eat the malpua, eat the malpua." So the saint was chanting, "No, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." He was chanting. Again the mind was saying, "Eat the malpua, eat the malpua." You say, "Oh my dear mind, you want me to eat the malpua?" "Yes, yes, I want you to eat the malpua." Sure. He took the malpua, he looked at it, and he threw it in the Radha Kund to teach the mind a lesson. And then he chanted peacefully. That is a harsh response. Something that is a slap to the mind. So that's another way to deal with the mind. But too much slap also mind cannot handle. And we are also not so much in control of the mind. Mind will devour you. But sometimes you have to slap the mind. Sometimes you have to delete the mind. Sometimes you have to cajole the mind. Hey mind, come on. You are such a nice person. You are such a nice devotee. I know you like Krishna also. Please help me with this. It's cajoling. Where cajoling happens? Bhajahu re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Like that Govinda Das is singing. My dear mind, just please chant Hare Krishna. Come on, say it once. Like that. He's encouraging. Bhajahu re mana. Re mana means Are mind. Re mana. Just chant Hare Krishna. Just worship Krishna. Just once. Why? By worshipping Krishna, you will become fearless. Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Whoever surrenders to Krishna's lotus feet attains fearlessness. He is no more affected by situations. So mind, once you chant, something like that, you can cajole the mind. Come on, you do it. Small pushes. Loving push. So another way to control the mind. So I told you 3 ways. What? One is delay, one is tight slap, and third one is cajoling. So in this way, we can help the mind be little peaceful when we are engaging in spiritual activities. More the mind succumbs to any one of these 3 methods and hears Hare Krishna, gradually the mind gets purified. Over time, mind gets purified. A purified mind naturally sits to chant Hare Krishna. New people, when we speak Bhagavad Gita or chanting Hare Krishna, they cannot, like, they're chanting Hare Krishna, but they're looking here, there, they cannot, restless. They're so restless. You see advanced souls, they sit chanting Hare Krishna. Once in Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi, we all do full fasting, like no water also. So when I was in Pune, saffron means you chant Ekadashi 64 rounds in Pune. So we all were sitting, right after Bhagavatam, we sit, chant 64 rounds. We were all sitting. There was one sannyasi, his name is Haldar Swami. He sat. I was like chanting Hare Krishna, falling apart. Someone was waking me up. I said, "Thank you." I was just falling apart. 64 rounds. My mind was going everywhere. Then I stood up for some time, sat down again, changed my pose, Vajrasana. I sat in Vajrasana, again stood up. Big, lot of endeavor. Haldar Swami, he sat, chanted 64 rounds peacefully, like it was nothing. And he got up and left. I still had that 20-30 rounds remaining. And I'm falling apart. You see how controlled their minds are? It was very purified by doing good bhakti, good sadhana practice. So more we are in mode of goodness to sit and hear the holy name, the holy fame, study Prabhupada's books regularly. As the mind gets purified by our sadhana practice, it becomes natural for the mind to sit on the holy name. Then the devotee will say, hey, today this exalted soul, proper disciple has come. Let us go all the way to temple to hear. You will say, hey, temple is 2 hours away. No problem, this devotee is there. Because attraction has come, no? And just like movie comes, your favorite movie, some sequel, then even if it's 2 hours, you will travel. Even it's not in nearby theater, you will travel. Similarly, once you have a taste for it, you don't mind. You will do anything it takes to go there. So once the taste comes, it is explained by Sri Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakur. In the initial phase, in the our progress of bhakti, there are 9 stages. Just for your information, starts with Shraddha, a little faith. With a little faith, you associate with the sadhu sangha. While you associate with sadhus, you engage in bhajan, chanting Hare Krishna and all that. That's bhajana kriya. More you engage in bhajan, anartha nivritti, your purification of heart happens. More you purify your heart, you reach steadiness. You become steady in your bhajan. That is nishtha. Now nishtha is like a plateau. Shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, plateau. Now from there is not much. See, climbing, if you're cycling uphill, it's tough. Cycling over a mountain is very tough. And plateau is not that difficult. No, nishtha is like steadiness. No one has to push you. You'll not naturally get up for Mangalati, naturally chant Hare Krishna and so on. But after nishtha asakti. No, nishtha ruchi. You get taste. Once you practice steady devotional service, after some time you get taste for it. Then it is not, I am forced to chant. I am told to chant. I am supposed to chant. Now you will say, I want to chant. I love to chant. The mood changes. So then it is a downhill. Downhill, do you have to put effort? So our effort in Krishna consciousness is come to the platform of Nishtha, steady devotional service. That is our effort. After Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. You don't have to do anything. Just continue. Naturally you will advance. That's why Krishna is scanning you. In the beginning, Krishna is not sure, are you really serious about bhakti? So you have to put effort. So that's just for your information. So therefore, we have to see how much of a devotee is my mind becoming. How much of a devotee. Don't support your mind. You are not your mind. Mind, Krishna says, above the mind is intelligence, above the intelligence is you, the soul. Indriyani paranyahur indrevya paramanaha manasattu parabuddhi yobuddhi paratastu saha. The soul is higher than the intelligence, it is above the mind. So don't succumb to the mind. Mind will give you 10,000 other things to do. You understand it is my mind's own things or proposals. I don't have to accept it. Mind will say, hey, look in that direction, a beautiful woman is walking. You can say, shut up, you rascal mind. Don't you have anything else to do? Chant Hare Krishna. Chant extra round now, 17th round. You can say, you don't fear. You tell the mind, chant Hare Krishna. Don't think, Hare, chant again. Itna to chant kiya subah. So much I have been chanting whole day today. One more round. No, that is the mind saying. You are not your mind. You tell the mind, you chant. You are able to understand what I am saying? Don't identify with your mind. The desires in your mind are not your desires. They are mental desires. When you identify with the mind will say something and you will think, Prabhuji, my mind is troubling me too much. Or when some devotees come and say, Prabhuji, I am becoming very materialistic. I have so many material desires. No, you have only one desire to serve Krishna. Soul only has actually one desire. Other desires are all mental desires based on ego, whatever you accept as identity. So don't take your mind too seriously. Understand, more you engage it in the fire of Sankirtan, the mind becomes purified. Purified mind will cultivate spiritual desires. Then another problem comes when you're chanting. You want to serve, you want to serve a sannyasi, you want to clean the temple hall, you want to do this for Krishna, that for Krishna. That's okay. That's still positive distraction. It's not a negative distraction. But in the beginning stage, we have negative distractions. Negative distraction means mind is saying, who asked you to chant Hare Krishna? All your friends are, making progress in material life. You are sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. Now, what is the guarantee that Krishna will take care? mind will put like this. You should say, yeah, sure. And you will take care. Shut up, chant. It chastises. So like that. So therefore, Krishna says, "My arpita manobuddhi, mame vaishasi asamshaya." It's like this. You dedicate your mind and intelligence in me. Dedicate your mind by hearing attentively, focusing the mind on spiritual sound vibration, and dedicate your intelligence by hearing about Krishna's instructions. These two things. Mind by hearing the holy name, and buddhi, intelligence, by hearing Krishna's instructions. These two things you do. That's how you surrender your mind and intelligence to Krishna. Then definitely at the end of this life, we go back home. That's how a devotee leads his life in this material world. How? Trying to lead it in Krishna consciousness. Whatever you do, make sure you are Krishna conscious. That's all. No one is asked to stop anything. Of course, a sinful activity, yes, definitely. But other things, no. You can carry on your duty. But understand how Krishna plays his role in all of this, his intrinsic role. Okay, we'll do 8.8 also. अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. Next.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
Here it is mentioned Divyam, what is it? Yati Parthanuchintayan. He is such a person attains me. Who is Anuchintayan means is constantly remembering Krishna. You can only constantly remember Krishna on the platform of love. Like a boy or a girl remembers his or her lover constantly. Do you have to say, hey, are you remembering your girlfriend? No, naturally remembers, isn't it? I have seen boys who have girlfriend, they speak on phone for hours together. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. They go crazy. They sleep like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. just talking. And what are they talking? They're discussing some research or what? 3 hours. What did you eat today? What did you have for lunch? What do you have for dinner? And what do you have for breakfast? What do you plan on having tomorrow? Isn't it? How horrible. Because on platform of love, he becomes like a madman, it is mentioned. On platform of love. Similarly, devotees also become mad. But mad for Krishna. Therefore, one sannyasi called, why we are mad? Because we are becoming mad after Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan is Madan Mohan. That's where the mad comes from. Mada. Mada means intoxicating or madness in Sanskrit. In English, it comes as mad. That's the derivative. Madan. And Madan Mohan means Krishna is so beautiful, he charms you and makes you a madman. And the Vaishnavas become like mad. They don't care for the whole world. They are just chanting and dancing in public. And all outside thinking, oh, what are these funny people? No problem. We don't care. Just chant and dance. Because we are just happy glorifying Krishna. So much so that we don't care for what others think. That's a symptom of madness. Prabhupada wanted to come to the US. He went to Sumati Morarji and he asked, I want a ticket on your Scindia cargo ship. Cargo ship is not meant for human travel, meant for cargo travel. It's not smooth. Prabhupada said, I want to go to US. She said, you are a madman. Why you are such an old man at the age of 69. This is at the age of 69 he's saying. You will die over there in America. So don't act like a madman. Prabhupada was mad. Mad for Krishna. Like that. So therefore the devotees are ready to do anything for Krishna because they become mad. But how mad? Because they are constantly thinking about Krishna. That is called as smaranam. Smaranam, before you reach the stage of smaranam, there are 2 important processes. What is that? Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam, chanting. chanting the glories or chanting the holy name. More you do Shravanam Kirtanam, naturally there will be Smarana. If there is no remembrance of Krishna in the mind, we should question, how much Shravanam am I doing? Quality. When I'm doing Shravanam and Kirtanam, with what quality am I performing this Shravanam Kirtanam? If I'm not performing the Shravanam and Kirtanam with quality, then Smaranam or thinking about Krishna in the mind, Krishna will never sit. It's not possible. Like if you like a tune in the music, then even in the exam, sometimes the music, that tune comes. You are thinking, hey, I have to focus on writing. Isn't it? Like that, because you've heard that tune many times. Or even if you have heard for a few times, you heard with quality. Attentively you have heard it. That even while writing exam, the mind thinks of it. Like that. When you hear attentively, chant Krishna's holy name and fame, then gradually, because you're doing it day in and day out, mind will not naturally think about Krishna. There was one person who was a pujari his whole life. I think in Tirupati, I'm not sure. Or Udupi, one of them. At the time when he was on his deathbed, he was like lying on the deathbed, but his hands were doing like this. You know why?
Doing the mala.
Yes, whole life he spent making garlands for the Lord. At the time of death, his hands are engaged in doing garlands. See? Whole life he did. Similarly, more we hear and chant, at the time of death also we'll be chanting. Now if you say for a materialist, the materialist is walking on the road, slips and falls, what will say? Ayyo, Amma, they'll scream out different names. Or of course, abuse words. But a devotee slips and falls, he says, oh Krishna, oh Govinda, like that. So changes, it's all reformation happens in the lifestyle of a devotee. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna, anyone who meditates on me in his mind constantly, anuchintan means continuously is chanting, continuously is remembering about me. Such a person will attain me. So therefore, there is no barrier. Anyone can do it. It's a scientific process. But we have to attain the platform of anuchintayam. Anuchintayan. Okay. Prabhupada says, the devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features. You can think of Krishna as Narayana, Krishna, Rama, etc. by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him at the end of his life due to his constant chanting. He will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yoga practice meditation on the Supersoul within. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, one fixes mind always on the Supreme Lord. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force to think of Krishna. You have to engage the mind by force. Like when the mind is not controlled, mind is like a small child. Small child doesn't like to eat. What do? You hold the hand and force and give the food. Isn't it? Yeah. So Prabhupada says you have to forcefully engage the mind. So don't think mind will naturally sit. If it is not naturally sitting, you will wait one day it will naturally sit. No, it will never naturally sit. Impure mind is fickle. So you have to give it by force. My mind doesn't like to chant. Chant anyways. Isn't it? Like that. One example often given is that of a caterpillar that thinks of becoming a butterfly. And so it is transformed into the butterfly in the same life. You know that? The caterpillar always thinks about becoming a butterfly and therefore it gets wings. There's also one worm in its cocoon or something, one wasp keeps hitting that cocoon. So it remembers this is the fellow who's trying to kill me. Remembers so much that it becomes a wasp. Yeah, which is that one? You heard of it before? Yeah, there is. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. Okay, 8.9. Now Krishna is mentioning, okay, Arjuna, I am telling you, think of me, think of me, think of me. But what do you mean, think of me? So understand who am I, my qualities. Kavim Puranam Manushasitaram
Kavim Puranam Manusasita
Anoraniyam Samanusmaredyaha.
Anuraniyam Sarus
Haribo. Are we focused in hearing and chanting? Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram
Kavim Puranam Manusasitaram
Anoraniyam Samanusmaredyah
Anoraniya
Anusmaredyah
Anusmaretyah
Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam
Sarvasya Dataram Achintyarum
Aditya Varnam Tamasaparasta.
Aditya Varnam Tamasasma.
These are Krishna's qualities. Kavim Puranam. Kavim means he's a poet. Kavim Puranam. You can remember Krishna as a poet. Why? Krishna is whatever he speaks is poetic. Song of God, Bhagavad Gita. Not Bhagavad Tattva. Not Bhagavad Siddhanta. It is Bhagavad Gita, the song of God. On battlefield of all the places, he's singing on the battlefield. And Arjuna can say, Hare Krishna, this is time to get serious. Directly tell me what I should do, why you're singing. No, Krishna is poet. Kavim Puranam. Purana means he's the oldest. Anushasitaram, Anoraniyamsa. Anoraniya means he's the smaller than the smallest. Amsam. Anusmaredyaha. Sarvasya Dhataram. He holds everything. Achintya Rupam. His form is not conceivable because it is not material. Aditya Varnam. He's bright as the sun. I'm just guessing. Let's go to Sanskrit later on. Tamasa Parastad means he's above ignorance. He's above tamas. Now let's see. Let's match. Okay. Anushasitara means he's the controller. Anoraniyam, some smaller than the atom. Anusmaredyaha. Sarvasya Dhataram, the maintainer of everything. Achintya Rupam, whose form is inconceivable. Aditya Varnam, luminous like the sun. Tamasa Parastad, he's transcendental darkness. Who's reading?
One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature.
This is how you should remember Krishna. When we say remember Krishna, think of Krishna, immediately people think, okay, how does my deity look like? It is artificial. First be attached to the guna, the qualities of Krishna through hearing. Rukmini, she fell in love with Krishna how?
Hearing.
By hearing. She only heard the qualities and pastimes of Krishna. And then she fell in love with him. That's how we fall in love with Krishna, by hearing. Deities are fine, but you don't have to forcefully imagine Krishna. What? No, change the color, not yellow, black and blue. It's not some paint app on your Windows laptop.
So what is it also says like who is inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Inconceivable. Therefore I'm saying you cannot imagine the Rupa. Achintya Rupam. His form is inconceivable. That means he doesn't have a material form.
Quality wise, it's there.
Yeah. Quality you can. Krishna is lover of his devotees, Bhakta Vatsala. Quality. Like that. So here Kavim means, I said poet, but poet also means, Kavim also means he who knows everything. That means, don't worry, he knows the situation completely. He knows the situation completely and still he's allowing you to undergo it. That means he has a bigger plan. Is that understandable? Yeah, that means he has a bigger plan. You don't have to. So, therefore, see how Krishna is saying. Krishna told Arjuna, meditate upon me. Now he is telling Arjuna how to meditate upon me. Meditate upon me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Meditate upon me as per the quality that I know everything. I am the one who is knower of everything. Meditate upon me who is the oldest. That means he is most experienced. He knows everything. The wisest. Meditate upon me as the controller, Anushasitaram. That means everything is under Krishna's control. You don't have to control anything. See, the most distractive thoughts in our chanting are those where we think we are the controller. That day that Prabhu said, something like that, Actually, what I will do today, I will talk to him first and then I will. You're planning. That means you're thinking, who is in control? I am in control. So meditate upon Krishna's. He is the controller, not you. Then understand he is smaller than the smallest. He is the maintainer of everything. He is maintaining all of us. Not that I am maintaining my family. People say, Prabhu, I have to work hard because I have to maintain my family in India. You are not the maintainer, Baba. Krishna is the maintainer. He is called as Patim Patinam. He is a real husband, real father, real protector, the Lord of all the lords, leader of all the leaders, husband of all the husbands. He is the supreme Lord. So therefore he is the maintainer. Sarvasya Datharam. Achintya Rupam. He is inconceivable. His form is inconceivable. Of course, Prabhupada writes who is inconceivable and who is always a person. Chintirupam. But here it is mentioned as one word. Chintirupam. Yeah, the form is inconceivable. And it is also mentioned he is Aditya Varnam. He is luminous like the sun. That means where there is Krishna, there is no Maya. The darkness of Maya is immediately gone because he is luminous like the sun. You put Krishna somewhere, an entire place becomes bright. And he is transcendental. Transcendental beyond material nature means he is not affected by Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. We are affected by Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. But Krishna is Tamaha Parastat. That means he is beyond material nature. He is always on that transcendental platform. That means he is not bound by anything material. That means he is the perfect person to help us who are bound. Because he is not bound. Like that. So like this we can always meditate upon Krishna. More you get to know Krishna, more you will fall in love with him. If we are not falling in love with Krishna, that means we do not know who Krishna is. If someone says, yeah, I know Krishna, so what? That means you don't know Krishna. Simple. You don't know. We are not talking about that boring Krishna whom you think of. You don't know Krishna. More you know Krishna, more you will fall in love with him. Like that. Yeah. So this one we'll do next time. Okay. 8.10 onwards. So we'll pause here. Does anyone have any question or reflection? You want to share anything? Yes.
I have 2-3 questions. The first question is, what if someone is going to do suicide, and then they know that if they remember Krishna, they will go back to Godhead, for example. But they're not a devotee. Maybe when you're doing a big thing, or when you fall down or something, you remember God, right?
Yeah.
For example, when they're doing that thing, they're scared and they remember Krishna. Is what will happen in that situation?
No. See, at that point of death means what? That point where one is experiencing excruciating pain, it is not possible to think of Krishna. Even if someone says, I remember Krishna, or he says, hey Krishna, hey Govinda, definitely he gets benefit. But it is not the remembrance Krishna we were talking about as Krishna to be the only shelter. That's not possible.
Him at that point.
Yeah. And there's one very famous singer devotee, Ainda Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple. So, the way he left his body was, he was cooking for the deities, his Nitai Sachisuta in Vrindavan. And while cooking, there was some sort of an explosion because he had all gas, everything in his own room. In that explosion, he had a special door, like a soundproof door. So it got automatically locked. So he tried opening the door, whatever he tried, nothing happened. So what he do? His deities were there and he just offered obeisances. He could do nothing. So when they found his body, his body was offering obeisances to Nitai Sachisuta. Now, imagine us. We are undergoing something. We will be practically doing our best to get out till the last breath. He just surrendered. That is what we're talking about. Definitely, if someone just calls out Krishna and all that is fine. But to surrender the time of death wholeheartedly, without thinking of any other shelter, is not possible for anyone but a devotee who has practiced taking shelter of Krishna in different situations in throughout his life. It's all practice.
And also, when people are dying through heart attack, or when
Yeah.
there is a sudden death, or when someone is dying when they're sleeping, do they remember, like, do they know, like, someone knows that they will die in the moment, or no? Like,
Some
when they're
people can
dying
understand that I'm going to die.
before dying.
Yeah. You can understand I'm going to die. That's the problem. When you are at a point where you're going to lose everything what you worked hard for and lose everything what you identified with, can you take shelter of Krishna? That means, can you feel grateful that yes, finally the time has come that now I can meet Krishna? I
Or
mean,
are you still attached
yeah,
to the, you
correct.
can't let go of the
Correct.
materialistic?
Or you're just bewildered. "Hey, what is happening? Is this the time that I'm going to lose everything? Death has come. What about my children? I thought I'll take care of them. Who will take care of them?" Done. Children is the last thing he person remembered. So it has to be practiced. Anything else?
And one more thing I wanted to share is, as you said, I used to do chanting throughout the day, but from last 10 days I started chanting sitting for 1 hour and doing 10 rounds or 12 rounds at a time. And as you said, it is very easy to make decisions in the day.
Throughout the day, yeah.
It's,
You'll be Krishna conscious.
yes,
You'll be Krishna
before
conscious.
it was not like that. I used to chant 3 rounds, 4 rounds throughout the day, or when I
Correct.
was traveling. This is one thing. And also, yesterday I was sitting in the Harinam chanting, in Times Square chanting Sankirtan. I had a desire to play the kartals, but there were no kartals near me, and I didn't even ask anybody. It was very far. I had the desire in the mind. In the next moment, like in the next 1-2 moments, one of the brahmacharis gave that to me. So in these kind of situations, I see how Krishna fulfill your spiritual desires very easily. Sometimes even in a small experience
Correct.
will remind you that he's there or he's doing things. But materialistic things, this doesn't happen. Like, how do you see Krishna in materialistic world as I see in spiritual?
Yeah. So in material life, Krishna does the needful. That means Krishna wants us to keep our material life in such a way that it is a support for your spiritual progress. Because really, if you're progressing in life, that means spiritual progress. Material life is not progress. It's like a Ferris wheel. You go back to zero. You go up all the way, come down all the way. At the time of death, birth, you do whatever you want in this world, death. Then you quit. So material life is never progress. Because you just go circle. Progress means in line. So therefore, material life is required, to maintain livelihood, the bare minimum. How much ever. So sometimes Krishna gives, sometimes Krishna doesn't give. No problem. As long as I can maintain myself, sufficient. We travel
As
best.
long as you can eat and sleep and have a shelter.
Yeah,
These are the
a little
basic.
more than that. A little more than that also. It depends what is the need of every living entity based on psychophysical nature.
And one more question.
Yeah.
When you develop taste for chanting or doing things, it's very easy to do service. It is very easy to
Correct.
turn to
Very true.
Krishna when
Correct.
you're
That means you're
doing
Krishna
sadhana.
conscious. Yeah. By doing
But-
sadhana, you become Krishna conscious. In Krishna conscious, to do seva and extend and everything is very easy.
But this is automatic taste that you develop. But how to develop taste in materialistic life?
You don't need taste in materialistic life.
But how to so before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was ambitious, or I always used to see how productive I am in a day, or how to do things to feel that I am doing something in life. So, but after coming to Krishna consciousness, this taste is not coming in material life. So how did you in your life
My life, I quit material life.
that after a few years, no, Prabhu, like
First year only.
first year only.
Yeah, I quit. Therefore, I'm
But
not the
without
best person to answer this question.
But how to?
I also lost taste for material life. But I'll tell you one thing. We might lose taste externally for material life. As in, we don't want to work for company. What is a mundane study? That. So sometimes it's not necessarily we have lost taste for material life. Why? Because the taste to enjoy is still there. But you want to enjoy in spiritual circle. Taste to enjoy hasn't gone. So material life means the taste to enjoy. Bhogavritti is still there.
But you are enjoying in spiritual.
No, you cannot enjoy. You cannot have bhogavritti in spiritual realm. You can't do sense gratifications. That's not spiritual. Understand? No. Sometimes what happens? Yeah. Sometimes we can see. What is all this unnecessary ugra karma? Ugra karma means you work very hard all day. Like someone, he does his part time in some Indian store. He has to lift 50 kilo potato bags, like 50 of them, whole day. His back is gone. Then he thinks, what am I doing in my life? So sometimes we get tired of material life. But it's not necessarily we have lost taste for it. That is very deep. Losing taste, not that easy. Our taste for material life is very deep rooted. Like the roots, no, of the redwood forest trees. The redwood trees in the California forest, very deep, and they're also connected to other roots. Not deep, they are connected to other roots. So very stable. Similarly, our roots for our material life, the roots are very deep. You cannot uproot material life that easily. So what some things we can see for according to our practices. No need to work so hard in material life. That we can see clearly. Do little less. Be simple. It's not, you don't have to become the richest or the most popular. We lose that taste. Not necessarily bhogavritti. So how do we carry on with duties? When we are Krishna conscious, we see that our duties are Krishna sent or Krishna given for us to purify our nature. We all have a nature to prove, to enjoy. We have a nature to show to the whole world who am I and all that. So our duties, we should continue our duties, and it is purifying to us. Otherwise, what is the nature of mind? The mind will say today, what is all this material life? Leave it. Then you leave it. You go join full time in temple. Tomorrow it will say, what is all this full time only Krishna Krishna always? Let me go back to material life. Then again you go back to material life. Like that you can jump. Who is jumping? Not you. Your mind is jumping. You're only following your mind. So therefore, being duty bound is very important. And what does that mean? That means, yes, you be Krishna conscious. And then you understand what Krishna says, Mahamanusmarayuddhecha. You think of me, and while thinking of me, carry on your duties. Krishna never propagates the idea of giving up duties. Never. See, what one can say, what you are talking big things, you gave up all your duties. No, I took up higher duty. I'm not sitting in Vrindavan chanting Hare Krishna all the time. It is not a joke. It's a very exalted thing. Only purified, a completely pure, exalted Vaishnavas can do that. We are not there. So I would have quit company job, but I am engaged in other service. I'm running, say for example, I'm involved in running the Govinda's canteen, involved in running some projects. I have to take care of the car for Gita Life. You have to worry about its maintenance. What is so spiritual about it? It is spiritual because it belongs to temple. To run canteen is important. It is spiritual because it belongs to temple. So it depends on how I'm seeing it. What consciousness am I seeing it in? So when you don't see it in a right light of Krishna consciousness, then your material duties will look as a burden. But when you're Krishna conscious, you can see that this is required so that my Krishna consciousness will be good. Understand? Because even in temple, to run a temple, say for example, we want to build a new temple which is skyscraper. That means construction. Construction means bricks and cement and all the things you don't like. You have to have an architecture blueprint, and so many things are there. A lot of heavy work, and the cement will be the dust will be everywhere, going into nostril and everything. It's not very pleasing construction, but you have to do it. Why? Because what are you building?
Temple.
To a degree you are conscious that if you are building temple, you won't mind construction. If you forget that you're building a temple, you think, what building am I building? Leave all this nonsense. Understand? Then construction becomes a problem. So therefore, you have to see what your duty you are doing. Is it helping you become Krishna conscious, and or is that duty helping you purify your tendencies? Or is it helping you maintain your family members? These duties cannot be given up just like that. So therefore, more you are Krishna conscious, you can see it in the right light, the necessity of material duty to be Krishna conscious. And Krishna wants the people to be engaged. Therefore, he says no in the 4th chapter, Chaturvanya Maya Shishtham Gunakarma Vibhagashah. He says that I have created this Varnashrama system. What does Varnashrama system mean? Now, 4 spiritual order, 4 material orders: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They have their duties. Brahmana, Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan, Dan, Pratigya. And Go Rishi, that Vanijam, what is it? Vaishya. Go Raksha. Yeah, so basically cow protection and land cultivation, agriculture, duty of a Vaishya. Kshatriya is administration. Shudra is helping other classes. Krishna has made these duties, isn't it? Why did he create duties? If everything is to be spiritual, he just said, he should not have made Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. He should have only made Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanprastha, Sannyasi. That means we all have a tendency to work. So we have to be engaged. But the thing is, with the Krishna consciousness, we have to see in the right light how this duty is connecting me to Krishna. Something maybe that might be missing. Or if a Brahmana is engaged in a Shudra's work, he will not like it. Maybe you have to see what kind of engagement are you being engaged in. That's another thing. Like I know some devotees, they come to me and say they have done their studies in mathematics, in science. So they don't like company job. They're more like research fellows. That means more Brahminical. Company job is like more Shudra. You have to work under someone and receive a paycheck for your work. That is considered to be Shudra. Whereas Brahmana means more research oriented. You are finding out deeper truths or whatever. Studying and researching. That is all Brahminical. So if you are a Brahmana engaged in Shudra job, you will not like it. If you are a Shudra engaged in Brahminical job, you will not like it. Like some people, they don't care. They will tell you, you just give me whatever job, I'm ready to do it, but at the end of the month, you give me paycheck. I can do any job, just tell me. Isn't it? Shudra. Not something derogatory, Shudra or low class, not like that. Their nature is they can just help. They don't want any kudka thinking. Don't give me a responsibility of thinking separately. You just tell me what, okay, this has to be done, I'll do it. That has to be done, I'll do it. But at the end, give me salary. Maintain me. Like that. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they don't need maintenance from others. They maintain themselves. Kshatriya is administration. You tell Kshatriya, go cultivate land. He has no interest. So it's the tendencies, particular tendencies are there. So sometimes there's a mismatch there also. Sometimes why we mistakes.
Or the other thing can be you're suffering in your material life.
Yeah.
And you want to escape.
Correct.
Saying that. Maybe this might be the reason as well. But
correct.
Yeah. And choosing this one is very easy because chanting it just takes you just have to chant, you just have to hear. But in materialistic life, you have to keeping Krishna in mind and doing that duty takes a lot of effort.
Correct.
Which is
only thing is sometimes our mind, as it is discussed, conditioned mind is always fickle. Today you will get taste, but tomorrow when you don't get taste, are you ready to continue? That's the point. So therefore, spirituality is seen over a course of decades.
It's not.
No, today you got taste, tomorrow it will go. I can write and give it. That is called as anishtita bhajana kriya. When you have not reached the platform of nishtha or steadiness, our bhajan is always flickering. Sometimes you get great taste. You feel, let me give up the whole world and go to Vrindavan. Next when it falls down, you will say, let me give up Krishna and go back to material life. And it's not steadiness. Steadiness is how whatever you feel, you do the standard. That's steadiness.
How do you know that you reach to that level
of nishtha?
Yes.
Well, reaching nishtha, it takes time. Say you at the age of 50, 60, you can ask this question. It takes that much time at least. You can practice now, then after 20, 30 years, at least it will take to reach Nishtha, at the least, if not next lifetime. Right? Nishtha is not that easy. Nishtha means no one has to force you to get up in the morning. No one has to ask you to chant extra rounds. No one has to ask you to do seva. You are always engaged in seva. That is Nishtha, steady platform. It has become part of you. So that also takes a lot of time. Yeah. And on the platform Nishtha, to the degree our heart is cleansed, to that degree you are steady, basically. It's not like a checkpoint. You have passed Shraddha, next is Sadhu Sangha. Not like that. It is all like a staircase. More the Shraddha, more the Sadhu Sangha, more the Sadhu Sangha, more the bhajan, more Anattanavritti, more Nishtha. Like that it goes. You can always keep expanding the lower ones, then the higher ones will also expand. But I'm not going to go more into that. It's a more higher topic, deeper topic. We'll discuss some other time. But just to give an idea, I spoke it. But at the same time, till the time we don't reach Nishtha, our bhajan is always anishtita. And you will see it yourself. I've experienced it when I was growing. I mean, now also, sometimes you have great enthusiasm to do big things. 1 week, next week you feel completely weak in spiritual life. You are thinking, what is happening? Then that thing you do bare minimum kind of commitments, like that. It will go. It's like a wave, sinusoidal wave. Yeah. You have a question?
The only question I had was, like when you mentioned, right, like we should think of Krishna's qualities when we are thinking of him, right?
Yeah.
So any like order of or like any set of qualities do you recommend that we should think of that would help us elevate our bhakti?
Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram Anori Aniyamsam Anusmaredyaha. What is that one? Sarvaswadhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. And is now. These are qualities Krishna is mentioning in Gita. How to meditate upon me? Understand these qualities. First of all, we should not directly jump into sweetness of Krishna. It is artificial. First, understand the greatness of Krishna. Greatness of Krishna means understand how he is the control of everything. The tattva aspect. Understand how he is beyond the three modes. Understand how he is not bound by karma like you and me. Understand how he is maintaining the entire universe. Understand how he is the oldest, and that means everything is coming from him. These aspects we have to understand. This is tattva. More we understand Krishna like that, then when you enter into sweetness, it will be really sweet. Artificially, when we enter into sweetness, we cannot, we think we understand, but we don't understand. Yeah? So like that, those qualities we can meditate.
Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. So now we will do chanting of Hare Krishna. So our Sachin Prabhu here will lead the chanting because I have to go for something else. So you will come and sit here and chant to inspire everyone to chant.